Hey there, boils and ghouls. I'm Mr. Macabre, and welcome back to my movie library. Yeah, I think you guys already know what movie we're going to be talking about today. You already see by the title. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually kind of pleasantly surprised with the way this turned out. For the most part, you know, I'm actually kind of shocked considering this is, from Fox, I guess, slash Disney, slash maybe Sony. I'm not sure 100%, but yeah, today we got the 50th anniversary 4K steelbook of the Rocky Horror Picture Show, and we got this in. One thing that really, really surprises me is that this ended up being a wide release. Usually, when they do these steelbooks, for one thing, they're a lot more expensive. Mine was $37.99. Still a bit more than I would have liked to have paid, but considering what usually these Fox, Disney kind of steelbooks go for, that is a little bit cheaper. But so anyway, so yeah, it was nice to get this, and then also too to make it widely available so that anybody who wants it can get it. And yeah, it's just really nice that we were able to get this in. And overall, I'm pretty well impressed with it. So this is the inside of it. You got Tim Curry there. I'm not going to take out the disc because there's nothing there, I promise you. But there's your 4K disc, and in the back you got your Blu-ray disc. There you go. I want to say, I could be wrong, but I think they re-released like a new Blu-ray for this. But anyway, but yeah, a very, very fun movie. I'm not even a huge fan of musicals, but I really do enjoy this movie. And Tim Curry, to me, he's like the biggest draw of this movie. The one thing I think is funny is when I think I remember reading something at one point where he said that he thought after Rocky Horror Picture Show he was never going to get another acting job as long as he thought his acting career was done, I guess. But yeah, goes to show what he knew, because now Tim Curry's considered one of the best, biggest character actors of all time, just about. Like he would go on to play Pennywise in It. He would be go watch the movie Clue. Like that movie's got a star-studded cast in that movie for the time it was made. That was a star-studded movie, and Tim Curry ends up stealing that movie. He was probably about the least well-known actor in that movie, but he gets in there, he steals that movie. He's the best thing about it, and just on and on. You ever want something fun? Watch the, if you haven't seen it, watch the Tales from the Crypt episode, Death of Some Salesman, where Tim Curry plays 3 characters in that episode. That one probably ranks about my favorite Tales from the Crypt episode, and that's not easy considering like so many of the episodes were amazing. I always love that show. But so anyway, so yeah, this is what we got here. This is what we're working with. For picture quality, you do have Dolby Vision. Sound, I believe, is DTS HD Master Audio 5.1. Sounds like you read that off the back. It's like, well, actually, I kind of did earlier. So, and I'm sorry I can't read you the, all the bonus features there, but you could tell there's plenty of them there. So, you do get quite a bit. For the digital code, if anybody gives you a digital code for this and you redeem it on Movies Anywhere, you should be able to get the 4K version of the film. When I redeem my code, that's what I got. So you should be able to get that. And the only thing is that, this has got a gloss finish on it, and I'm sure you can probably see, like, this thing is a fingerprint magnet. So it does feel like, that's one thing why I'm not the world's biggest fan of steelbooks, is because, it's like, you feel like you gotta be so careful with them, like you really, really gotta be gentle with them. So anyway, so we got it put in the case here. And overall, just, I'm very, very happy with it. Watching this, though, it's like, one thing I will say, the sound is amazing. The sound is very, very clean. The songs come in crystal clear. You can, the lyrics are easy to understand. It's probably the best audio I've heard on this movie. Now, that being said, there were a couple of times, like when they're having a conversation, kind of like, if you don't have like a big surround sound system, there were a couple of times I felt like I had to turn the picture up a little bit, but yeah, the sound on this is actually really, really nice. The music, the sound effects, everything comes through nice and clean and everything else. Like I said, just there was maybe like a time or two it kind of dipped a little bit when I was like trying to listen to people having a conversation in the movie, but yeah, the sound is great. Picture quality. I've seen this movie many, many times. I've watched it. I've never seen it in theater. I really should go. We have a local cinema here that they do showings of this movie from time to time. I really should go and take this in one of these days when they're doing a showing of it. But this is a movie I've seen. I've watched it on VHS back in the day. I've seen it on DVD and Blu-ray, and now got to see it on 4K. And I think, personally, I think it looks great. The one thing I will say though, and I could understand if you're going into it, you see like the imagery, like you're familiar with the movie and stuff, because you got the Dolby Vision. So it's like if you're going into this thinking this is the brightest the picture quality is ever going to be. This is, like in the lab with Dr. Frankenfurter, like every time I've ever watched it, you always had that, because it's got like the pink tile walls and stuff like that in there. If you're going in there thinking like those colors are going to like really jump out at you and just be glaringly bright, you're definitely going to be in for a disappointment. There are some parts of the movie is like, yeah, it is a bit dark. It's like in the laboratory. It is a little bit dark, but I kind of like it. I know it's not going to be for everybody, but I kind of like it in the sense that, because, it is supposed to be a horror movie. Horror is in the title. I feel like with the Dolby Vision, I feel like that it gives the movie much more of kind of like a horror movie atmosphere. It feels a little bit more, especially like in the, like in the hallways, in the castle, like in the hallways or some of the rooms or whatever else. I feel like it definitely gives like a more, kind of more like a classic, almost Hammer-like feel to it, if that makes any sense. It just feels like, to me, it seems like it tends to lend more atmosphere to, the castle and the settings and everything else, kind of give it a little bit more of a horror movie vibe. To me, is like personally, I felt like I never really thought much of the horror part of it, watching it with the colors so bright and so colorful and everything else. So, this here kind of like, this kind of feels a little bit more like an older horror film, not like a Universal, but maybe kind of like something like have a little bit more of like a Hammer movie feel or an Amicus movie feel or something like that, So, I mean, for me, I like it, but I understand it's not going to be for everybody. Certain colors on here, though, very much do pop. The bloods are really, really like the reds are very, very blood red. I mean, it is, like you really get, certain colors will really like react to you. Your eyes are going to react to it. The blacks are very deep black. Just a lot of detail, like a lot of detail in the castle and stuff like that. And, obviously that castle must have been very, very cold because, certain scenes, like you could see like like when Brad and Jan first go into the castle with Riff Raff and like they're talking to him, you could clearly see the breath coming out of their mouths. I was like, yeah, it was definitely cold when they filmed that scene. So, but yeah, just, just a lot of detail in the picture quality and everything. But, but just like I said, I think that's going to be like kind of a big thing. I think a lot of people are going to go into this thinking it is going to be so bright and so vivid and everything else. And that's not what you're going to get. It's going to be a bit more muted. I will say, the scenes with the narrator who's like telling the story, it's kind of like, those are kind of dark and murky and grainy in some parts. But anyway, though, just the rest of it, though, it looks really, really good. I think it does, But hey, if you're somebody out there, you have this on VHS, you got this on DVD, you say, hey, man, I got like a nice... I seem to remember, like, wasn't there like a nice 2-disc DVD collector set of this back in the day? You're like, hey, that's what I got and that's the one I'm rocking. Or you got it on Blu-ray. If that's what you're happy with, man, by all means, don't worry about it. I would recommend, like if you're a huge fan of this movie, I would recommend picking it up. But would I tell you have to? Of course not. Of course not. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So, but yeah. Overall, though, I'm very, very happy that I picked this up. I don't regret the money that I spent on it. Yeah, it's like it could have been a lot worse. I mean, sure, yeah, it would have been nice to got a standard edition that would have been a little bit cheaper, but that's probably the biggest gripe I have over it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I'm satisfied, and it's really, really nice that we got a nice 4K edition of this. So, yeah, so that's about it. So real quick, if you don't mind, just want to show you a couple of other things I picked up. This here I got off of Amazon. It's like I'm trying to work on saving a little bit of room. And in case you haven't, you notice like in the back there, I got like my big box sets. I don't know if you remember from previous videos. I used to have the huge like Wizard of Oz box set and everything. It's like trying to save a little bit more room. So I picked up this here, the 4K. Excuse me. 4K collector box set of The Wizard of Oz, and I sold off the huge box set. Just I needed some kind of save a little bit of room in here, and you got the nice steelbook here. This isn't a fingerprint magnet. This has got the matte finish on it. So I do like gloss finish from time to time, but sometimes I prefer a matte finish more. Mainly just because, it's like you can kind of put your fingers on it. You don't really have to worry about it, getting a lot of prints and stuff like that on there. So, but anyway, it's like, yeah, just I was able to sell that off. And I'll tell you what I got for that here in a second. But, yeah, nice to get the nice collector box set of Wizard of Oz. Great movie. My opinion, it looks great on 4K. It's like, well, the 4K, you really see like the matte paintings and the backdrops and stuff. I don't care. It's still such a great movie. I don't care. And I do care, though. Is yeah, I heard the stuff about, they're going to, like, remaster the movie using AI and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. I'll tell you that right now. But, this is probably going to be, like, if they turn around, like, at some point, oh, we got a new remaster version. It's like, no, I'll stick with this. I think as far as I'm concerned, this is probably the last time I'm ever going to buy Wizard of Oz. So... But anyway, so yeah, really, really happy to get this. And it's going to go really, really nice. You guys have seen my previous videos. You're going to see it's going to go really nice on my shelf with all my other collector's editions. So to have a great classic movie like this in there, I'm down for it. This here I did pick up, and, I got something I need to explain. But, I did have the Blu-ray of this, but, I went for the 4K. I got Late Night with the Devil. And this is one, ladies and gentlemen, please stay tuned for a live television first as we attempt to commune with the devil. Okay. This is a thing, like, I don't know, I'm not going to sit here and speak for all 4K collectors. I'm just only talking about myself. Okay. But the thing is like, yeah, I had this on Blu-ray, and it's like, could I have lived with the Blu-ray and been satisfied with it? Yes, of course I could. The Blu-ray looked great. I had no arguments with it. And, I'm sure, and that's the thing, when I got this and I watched the 4K, I didn't really see much of a difference. Any difference was very, very minimal to me, at least. So I know some people, well, then why the hell did you buy it over again? It's like, the problem is, and like I'm saying, I'm only speaking for myself. I can't speak for every 4K collector. The problem is, and I had this problem like back in the day when I was like, I would upgrade something from DVD to Blu-ray. It was always that, like, when you see how good the format can be, it was like back then, I was like, man, I don't want to upgrade my DVDs. I want to keep, I want to keep my DVDs. I don't want to get everything on Blu-ray and stuff like that. But then when you see like the potential that Blu-ray can have, how much better, a lot of times movies can look on Blu-ray. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not shitting on DVD collectors, okay? Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I've seen movies on Blu-ray that look no better than the DVD, and I've even seen a couple in some instances, they looked worse than the DVD, I remember looking at Kentucky Fried Movie on Blu-ray, and I thought it looked hideous. And I was like, damn, the DVD picture looks better, But the problem is, though, is like for me, there's always that little question of doubt, that little bit of what if. What if it's going to be so much better? You know, maybe not. You know, it's like, you know, you think I bought enough of these over time, like I would know, you know, but like I said, just sometimes it's like, you know, you see it, it's on sale, and it's like, what if? You know, that little bit of nagging feeling. What if? What if it could look better? You know, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Again, you know, it's like I'm not going to take the disc out because there's really nothing on this side. I think that's kind of what they're doing with the designs of these, because they figure the discs are going to cover it anyway, so they pretty much leave this kind of blank. They did the same thing with Wizard of Oz and Rocky Horror. Kind of like, just put the image there because the discs are going to cover this anyway, so if you put something there, people can't see it anyway. So yeah, I never jumped on the second sight 4K. And like I said, for the longest time, I held off on this. It took it going on sale to get me to finally go for it. And like I said, you know, did it pay off? Not exactly, but you know what? It's like, I kind of knew that, but it was like, it was a gamble, you know. And, you know, but I don't feel too cheated out of it or anything like that because, I mean, you know, it helps that this is a great movie. It's a really, really good, very well-made movie. And it's very entertaining and stuff, so okay, so maybe the bump in picture quality wasn't really what I was hoping for, but still, you know. Anyway, I did it. I made my choice. I stick by it. So anyway, so yeah. But if you know, again, and again too, yeah, you could tell it's gloss because it got the fingerprints on it and stuff. So you know, just that's like I said, it's just kind of rough because you always feel like you got to be really careful with these. So. But anyway, so yeah, I did it. I made the jump from Blu-ray to 4K, Late Night with the Devil. So I made my choice. You know, I stand by it. So. And this year, like I just said, I talked about taking that big box set of Wizard of Oz and took some other stuff down to sell off. And I ended up getting enough store credit that I was actually able to pick this up for no money out of pocket. Thanks to the store credit, I was able to trade some stuff in, and I was able to get this. I got the Purge 5-movie collection. As you can see there, it says $61.99 from Zia Records, but, you know, I got this for no money because thanks to the store credit and everything else, I ended up paying nothing for this. I was actually able to get it, you know, almost for free. So, good trade, I think. I do enjoy most of the Purge movies. Now, I haven't seen the Forever Purge. I need to get around to watching that. The first Purge, I thought it was okay. Wasn't great, wasn't terrible. I just thought it was okay. But the Purge, Anarchy, and Election Year, those two are probably my favorites of the franchise. I really love Frank Grillo's character in those movies, and you know, almost has kind of like an almost like John Carpenter feel to him. That's just me, but really, really do enjoy these movies and stuff. And you know, the first Purge, I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good for a, you know, I thought it was pretty good for, you know, a prequel. You know, I didn't mind it. I've seen worse prequels, but so anyway, so yeah, it's like, you know, wow, you know, get the whole 5-movie collection. Yeah, I'll go for that. And on 4K, never had any of these movies on 4K. And they're, you know, in case if somebody's, well, what if the 4K looks like crap, and what if the picture quality is crap and all that stuff? Well, I'm in luck because I got the Blu-rays too. You know, I got the 4Ks and the Blu-rays, so obviously because I haven't opened it, I haven't watched this, so I don't know how these movies look in 4K, so I can't tell you. But yeah, I just picked this up, and you know, so yeah, to have the whole set, you know, of course, now watch that I bought this. Now there's gonna, you know, now there's gonna be there's gonna be like more and more sequels coming, so that'll be my luck. But I figure I can live with this for a while. So, but yeah, so The Purge, all 5 movies on Blu-ray and 4K for no money. I think I can live with that. So there you go. Last couple of things, if you don't mind, I got a couple of CDs. I had this for years. Well, I got a new one, but I had this for years and years, and my mother gave it to me for Christmas, and just over time, it just fell apart and just, you know, just, yeah, moving and stuff like that. And I found this one here, and it's almost practically brand new. It is used, but it's in excellent condition. I got the Ultimate Edition of the Phantom Menace soundtrack. Brilliant John Williams music and everything else, and yeah, mine was falling apart and the discs were showing their age and all that kind of stuff. So I came across this for a really nice price. There you go. The discs are perfect. They're in excellent condition. Let me show you one real quick. And there's the front of the CD, but look at that on the back. That is as clean as you can get. I don't know if you can see. It's like, yeah, I'm watching The Shining on the TV. So, because that's getting ready to be another video I'm getting ready to do here in a minute. But anyway, so yeah, look at that. That is really nice. Get it brand new edition, great condition, all that kind of stuff. So really, really happy I got that. I love the score. I love the score for, well, not so much the sequel trilogy, but I love the prequel trilogy scores. I love the original trilogy scores, and look at how cool is that. Darth Maul there and everything else. And you got the Duel of the Fates on the back. So yeah, really, really nice. Pick up a new version of this, and even though it's used, it's new for me, but still really nice. And this here, I did pick up new. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but I do enjoy the movie, and I love, I do love the score in the movie. I got the Nosferatu CD soundtrack, and yeah, really cool. Love the movie. Can't wait to listen to the soundtrack. This is going to be awesome. So, yeah, got this for a good price too, $12. So, brand new, still sealed. So, yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be fun to have this to listen to around Halloween time and stuff. So yeah, I think it's about time to wrap this up. So my 2 CD pickups that I got. Thanks to trade-ins, no cost to me. I got The Purge 5-movie collection on 4K and Blu-ray. I made my choice, Late Night with the Devil on 4K. Wizard of Oz on 4K. Really, really nice set. Can't wait to see how nice it's going to look on the shelf with the other collector's editions. And the Rocky Horror Picture Show on 4K 50th anniversary. So, yeah, I think it's been a really, really good day, and there's still more to come. So that's it. So if anybody took the time to watch all of this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I honestly hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, would you please leave a like, maybe share. If you haven't already, please go and subscribe to my channel. And that's it. Take care, everybody. Enjoy your movie collecting. Love your library. That needs to be my new catchphrase at the end of every video. Love your library. So, and yeah, doesn't matter. Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, VHS, Laserdisc, whatever you got. Love your library. Talk to you all later.